way. Lake Arbor families will develop increased data literacy about local and state assessments. Went the wrong way. So our agenda for tonight is we're going to greet and introduce our special guests. We're going to have a presentation from Dr. Jamie Bowers, Director of Prince George's County Public Schools Department of Testing, Research, and Evaluation. I'm going to do a presentation of the Lake Arbor Elementary School data. We're going to have some giveaways, yay. We're going to do a breakout session that is going to be a grade band level breakout session so that you can understand assessments for your grade level. We'll come back after the first breakout. We'll give you some questions and answers. We'll do some more giveaways. We'll have the evaluation. And then if you need it, because you may have a young student and an older student, and you might not be able to do both, get the information for both levels of students at the same time, we will have a breakout session. Excuse me, I'm calling it breakout session number 2. And then once we're finished with breakout session number 2, you're actually free to leave directly from the session at that time. Okay. All right. So next, we have introductions. Okay, so let's see. First, I'm going to spotlight my people that I'm introducing. So the first person I want to introduce is right here. Her name is Janida Nelson Generette. She is the Director of Elementary Mathematics. I'm going to stop my share so you can actually see people. She is the Director of Elementary Mathematics for Prince George's County Public Schools. Janida, feel free to say hello to the people.
Yes, hello. I am so happy that Principal Southern invited me because I always take an opportunity to share a wonderful resource that we have for all families. It's our Elementary Mathematics Parent Hub, and I'm actually going to just put the link in the chat. And when you access the link, it has the direct link to our Math Hub. It's actually a Canvas page for parents, and it provides resources to help your students with mathematics at home. It includes videos, it includes instructional resources, and it also includes our family letters for K through 5. And within those family letters, you will see every unit of instruction, what the expectations are, and activities that you can do with your children to support the work that they are doing in class. So I'm putting it in the chat now. And it is open for everyone, so no one should have any problems accessing. And so I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you all. And thank you again, Principal Southern, for the invite.
Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you and the great work that you're doing in our elementary mathematics office. The next person I'd like to introduce you to and spotlight for you, she's giving us the 80s profile right now, is Miss Angie Hale. Angie Hale is our iReady queen. So I'm just going to give Miss Angie Hale the opportunity to say hello as well.
Hi, Lake Arbor families. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. And I'm also going to drop a resource in the chat for you. It's the iReady Family Center. So if you have any questions about the iReady assessment that your students are taking, this will be some helpful information for you.
Thank you, Miss Hale. I really asked her at the last minute, and Janata too. Hey, can you please come and see my parents? Anything for you? I just love them. I love them. I'm going to introduce you also to Miss Ebony Crawford. Miss Crawford, I'm getting ready to spotlight you, okay? Miss Crawford is here from our Title I office. And Miss Crawford, please feel free to say hello to our families.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Miss Crawford. I'm from the Title I department. I'm so excited to join you all to learn about the data, the wonderful things that Lake Arbor is doing with your students. And I just want to say that your kids are in good hands. Every time I go to work with Miss Holly on planning and ensuring that your students receiving everything they deserve from our Title I funding. The learning environment is great. The teachers are so caring, so nurturing. So you guys are really, really in good hands.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. I promise you all, I didn't pay her to say that, and I didn't know she was going to say that. But thank you so much. The next person, when she came on, I played some special music for her, so I'm going to give her an opportunity to allow me to reintroduce myself, to reintroduce herself, Miss Monica Luke, who's here from our PTA.
Hello, everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Monica Luke. Have been newly elected the PTA president. So hopefully you do know we do have a Lake Arbor PTA. We started the process to become official at the end of last school year. And then we became an official PTA with Maryland Free State toward in the summer. So we've been official this whole school year. So we've recently had some transitions in our e-board. So I am now the president. And we have our next general body meeting on February 25th at 6:30 at the school in person. So if you, hopefully you've seen the flyer on Class Dojo, hopefully you can join us. We have about 40 members on record. So I would love to see all members to come out. And if you're not a member, you can still come and please join us. So thank you. And my son his name is Landon, and he's in the 4th grade. He's been at Lake Arbor since 1st grade.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Luke, and congratulations again. Also very quickly, I want to introduce our staff members that are here with us. Again, we have Ms. Holly, our reading specialist, Ms. Cheney, our reading resource teacher. Oh, wait, I have another newbie. I'm gonna come back to you, Mr. Jones, and then we'll do Ms. Bowers after that. Ms. McKinnon is our new 5th grade reading English language arts teacher. She's amazing. I saw Miss Dorsey, Miss McLaughlin is in. Hello, Miss McLaughlin. And I think that's it as far as staff. Now I'm going to also replace Miss Luke's spotlight with this next staff member, Mr. Mac Jones. Mr. Mac Jones is our new community school coordinator. Some of you all may have met him. He started back in November, back when his fraternity also had a very special event that month. But he's hit the ground running, and we wanted to make sure he had the opportunity to say hello as well. So Mr. Jones, take it away.
Awesome, awesome. Good evening to all of our parents. So everyone here, I am the new community school coordinator. It's been about 3 months now. And I know we'll have some questions about what a school community coordinator does and what's my role. So you'll be getting some information from us soon, but ideally what it is that we want to create Lake Arbor Elementary School as a hub for the community. So we're bringing in partners, we're meeting with parents, we're checking in with students and teachers just to see, how can we supplement the program and how can we give kids some more enriching experiences. I'll give you my information. My information will go out soon so that you can reach out to me if you have some questions, if you have some ideas of things that you might want to see, and so that we can connect with our partners to see how we can get those things done. But it's nice to meet everyone. You probably see me in the morning standing out front in a big black coat, waving my arms. That's me.
Mr. Jones, I'm going to be emailing you so we can connect.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. And so our next guest, I was going to share my screen, but I'm just going to share her spotlight. I need to get my gallery view together. There we go. Is Dr. Jamie Bowers. And we're going to give her the floor for a second, but I do want to introduce Dr. Jamie Bowers. And then also, Dr. Bowers, I wanted to find out if you want to present or if you wanted me to present. Either one is fine. But Dr. Jamie Bowers is the director of the Department of Testing, Research and Evaluation with Prince George's County Public Schools in the state of Maryland. So that means every assessment, every official assessment that we take falls under the care of Dr. Bowers. She has been an educator for over 23 years and has experience in several of Maryland's local school systems and the State Department of Education. Her insight and firsthand knowledge of the schoolhouse, as well as both state and local accountability and assessment, has led to the successful implementation of both state and district assessment programs, which specifically focus on the utilization of interim benchmarks, summative measures, and an assessment cycle to yield meaningful data and reporting to guide instructional decisions. That's a lot, right? She serves as a board member for the Maryland Assessment Group, which focuses on assessment and accountability information, policy, and professional development opportunities for educators throughout Maryland. She recently completed her EDD in educational leadership at the University of Maryland. She loves the beach, and she has the best almost birthday in the world because her birthday is the day right next to mine. So, so I'm going to give Dr. Bowers the floor. Take it away, Dr. Bowers.
Thank you. I appreciate that warm welcome and the introduction. And then what Principal Southern did not say, she's also part of my cohort. We're proud cohort 7 of the University of Maryland EDD program. And I know that she will be completing that this year because I know her and I know she will. So thank you for having me tonight. I have several slides, but I promise I will not take longer than my time. Some of the slides I will not get to read through all the way, but I'm going to share, I've shared the link with Principal Southern, and she is able to hopefully share this information with you and share the presentation with you. So I just want to start by looking at how our assessments connect together. And so we administer in our school district for reading, I'm going to focus on primarily, is our DIBELS assessment as a screener, our iReady assessment, which Ms. Hale will talk about later this evening from Curriculum Associates. We also have our benchmarks, and then we have our MCAP assessment, which is our summative assessment at the end of the year. Each one of these assessments kind of helps and trends into each other to help us in the district and Principal Southern at the school level get a better, clearer picture of each student and how they are progressing in reading. So for our DIBELS, that helps us identify early literacy foundational skills that students may need extra support with. And then our iReady helps teachers to monitor the progress in obtaining developmentally appropriate skills and then comprehension skills. And so these two assessments really help us with students mostly in grades K to 3, get a real good understanding of how kids are with their early literacy skills. And we'll talk more about that with DIBELS and kind of how they're progressing to reading on grade level and then comprehending text on grade level. We also have several district assessments that help us throughout the way. In reading English language arts, we have cycle assessments, and that helps our reading teachers give a better understanding of how well students grasp the lessons and standards that are taught in their reading classroom. For math, we have Janida here. She could probably talk more specifically, but we have our math milestones and our common assessments in mathematics, and that helps give math teachers better understanding of how well students are grasping the concepts in their current unit of study in the classroom. And then we also have our benchmark assessments. Our math milestones and our cycle assessments are going to fall at the end of different units throughout the quarter. And then our benchmarks fall at the end of each quarter. So at the end of quarter 1, the end of quarter 2, and then we have an optional benchmark 3 at the end of quarter 4. And that helps us to see how students are progressing throughout the quarter, and then what students may need additional support, and then how teachers are doing with their quarter's instruction. So for our DIBELS assessment, that is given to students in grades K through 3, and that is helping to support a state required universal screener for students in grades kindergarten through 2, and then in Prince George's County, we also include grades 3 in that. So that is allowing teachers in kindergarten to grade 3 to monitor these individual skills that you see checked off here. So the skills that are assessed in DIBELS are letter naming fluency, our phoneme segmentation, nonsense word fluency, word reading fluency, and then our oral reading fluency. And then some students progress in grades 2 to 3 to the comprehension portion of DIBELS. So something our office does is we've created a family guide for each of our district assessments. So this is what our guide looks like for DIBELS. So each of these guides is formatted to look the exact same way. It has all of the different components that you need for each assessment, and it talks about who takes the assessment, what the name of it is, if it's an acronym, what it stands for, when the assessment is administered, why Prince George's County is administering that assessment, the score report that parents and families will get, kind of how they might get that and what information is included, and then some key terminology to know. And then at the bottom, there's always some hyperlinks that go to like a sample report or more information or resources on that particular assessment, or a website that might have more information. So this kind of gives parents and families a nice overview of what DIBELS is and kind of the different components of DIBELS. And then how do we administer? So DIBELS is administered as a one-on-one assessment. So the teacher and the student will sit down. The student has 4 different subtests to take. Each one of those subtests is about a minute long. And so the teacher will give the student whatever subtest it is, whether it's phonemic awareness or that word rec fluency or nonsense word fluency or the letter naming. Though whatever subtest it is, the student will have 1 minute to demonstrate, whatever skill this teacher is asking. The teacher will take notes. Then at the end, the student will get an overall composite score. And I'll show you an example of the parent report. But the teacher will be looking for key things, listening for key things that the student either says or doesn't say, to be able to give them some scores for each of those 4 subtests to get their overall composite score. So this is what a parent home report looks like. So each student will get a composite score that's up here circled in red. It's a 3-digit number. And then each of the composite scores fall within one of these 4 subcategories. So students are either well below, at, or above benchmark. And so this composite score is a 243 that falls within the well below. So that's why you see it circled in red. And then as the parent report will describe the different subtests that the student took and then how they scored across each of those. This is just a sample. So our kindergarten students don't take all 4 of the subtests at the beginning of the year. But if you had, for example, a 2nd grade student, you might see all 4 of these subtests with a 4-colored band across to see how your child did in each of those 4 subtests. Our iReady assessment, we also give as a measure in our kindergarten through grade 5, and we also administer to students in middle school as well this year. But since Lake Arbor is an elementary school, we'll just focus on the elementary portion. So students in grades kindergarten, grade 1, and grade 2 are basically taking the same kind of subtests in iReady, our phonological awareness, our phonics, high frequency words, vocabulary, comprehension for literary text, and comprehension for informational text. Once students move into grade 3, there are some things that are not tested for students, phonological awareness, for example, and then some, the phonics and the high frequency words are only tested domains if a student does not perform up to a certain standard by grade 3. And so this tool is helping us more move past early literacy and our early literacy skills and more seeing how fluent students are and then beginning comprehension skills. So again, we have the same family guide for our iReady assessment. It looks very similar, just different color. So it kind of signals it's a different assessment, but it has the same categories throughout just to keep that consistency. And then here's what a parent report looks like. So some key terms to note on this iReady parent report are the placement levels. So we have above, at, approaching, and needs improvement. So you'll see those kind of come up in this column here for each of those subtests. Instead of a composite score, iReady gives a scale score, and that's still going to be a 3-digit number that students are going to get. And that's usually noted right over here underneath this bar. We also have national norms, so that's showing how your student compares to other students in that same grade level across the country, other students who are taking this assessment. And then we also have foundational domains, and these are subtests within the overall test. And so you'll see that information here. And then the iReady also shares a Lexile level, which is helpful for parents and teachers to help find a book. And that information will be placed right underneath of this domain section. And then we also have iReady creates this really nice reporting document to kind of answer some questions about what if my student's performing below grade level, what does that mean? What if my students scored lower on the second diagnostic in the winter than they did in the first and the fall, and some other things like that that are going to be helpful on this document. Lastly, we have our benchmark assessments. And so our benchmark assessments are in elementary school are given across several grade levels. We have benchmark assessments in the 4 core content grades, and you can see by grade level what assessment they are given and how often they are given. Like I said in the beginning, most of our benchmarks are 2 times a year. Some schools choose to administer the benchmark 3. If your child's school is a CSI school, those schools are required to take that benchmark 3 at the end of the school year. So here's what an individual student report looks like for our benchmark. You're going to notice very similar layout. It's going to have those 4 color bands that mean that your student is developing, emerging, on track, or an advanced learner. They are also still going to have a 3-digit scale score, just like the iReady assessment. And then underneath, it's going to show the different domains and how each of those domains were scored for your student. When it's time for parents to take some of our larger assessments, Lake Arbor probably will send home a parent family testing letter. Those probably go out, not for every single assessment, but for some of our bigger ones, our MCAP assessment, when we administer KRA again, when we give our benchmark assessments. So it helps families to kind of see when we're giving each of those assessments. And then lastly, I get asked this question a lot, how do I talk to my child's teacher about the scores on Dibbles or on iReady or on benchmarks? So here's a really quick list of questions to ask your child's teacher that will give you some more information and start you in the right direction for how you should be approaching and asking. And then lastly, what resources to look for. So when you know assessments are being given, you should definitely look for an individual student report that might come home specifically for our state assessments. And then some schools do opt to send home for benchmarks and Dibbles and iReady as well. Parent family letters about when assessments are given. District and school specific testing calendar. I know Lake Arbor has its own testing calendar, but you can find our district testing calendar on the Prince George's County website. If you just Google PGCPS testing calendar, you can see for the whole district, but Lake Arbor has their own testing calendar as well. And then parent and family events such as this one that share testing information or talk to, I don't know, Principal Southern, do you have a parent engagement assistant at your building?
Not yet.
No, okay.
Not yet.
Some schools have a PEA, and a lot of those PEAs will also schedule parent-family events like this one for parents and families to talk about data. So I know that was really quick. I wish I could, talk more. I'd love to, share more information with you, but please email me if you have any questions. And it was great to meet you all, and I'm excited to sit on some of your breakout sessions and hear some of the data that Principal Southern's going to share for Lake Arbor.
Thank you, Dr. Bowers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, that was like speed dating. That was a little quick, but it was good, but it's very much in alignment with what we're going to talk about tonight anyway. So if there's anything that you guys have a question about, please write your questions down. We are going to have a Q&A session a little bit later, but some of what she discussed, we're going to review in our session as well. So we are, again, right in alignment with each other. So I appreciate that. So we're going to move to our next piece. This is, I was already sharing. this page. We're going to go back and share that again. The wonderful Dr. Jamie Bowers, you got to see her presentation already. So I wanted to talk about the why. Why are we even having this conversation, Principal Southern, about assessments? Why are my children taking assessments at the rate that they're taking these assessments? So this is something that we call the coherence framework in Prince George's County. It shows how all of our district initiatives and how they work together. So the question says, take a look at the framework. What is at the core? Parents, type in the chat and tell me what keywords do you see. We could take this back into present mode. Do you see at the core of this framework? Let's see what you can tell us. And where is my chat? What do you see at the core of the framework? Okay, here we go. You see data, absolutely. Anything else? Anything else besides data? That's why we're here today. Students, content, and one more. Data, student, teachers. So the core of what we do in schools is based on and grounded in students, teachers, content, and data, and how the four of those are connected together in order for us to help students perform at the level that we want them to perform. So that's why we're here. We're here because of students, because of your babies. We're here to think about how the content supports them. We use data to make decisions about that. And the teachers are the ones who have to implement that content and support students. Okay. So what I want to do first is talk to you about school-wide data. Those of you all who came to our back to school night, when we reviewed our school-wide data at the beginning of the year, we talked about our iReady assessment data. We have updates because we've taken it again. Miss Angie Hale is here, so we won't be embarrassed by our iReady data, but we do want to make sure that we give you, what I'm going to share with you all is an overview of where our students are now and how much growth they've made from the time they took their assessment in October to now. And so we're going to start with mathematics because even though as a district, all elementary schools in Prince George's County Public Schools use the iReady data for reading, but here thank you, Ms. Jennerette. Here at Lake Arbor, we also are using iReady to help give interventions for and track our math assessments. So here we go. In the fall of 2024, this is what our data looked like. And so if you remember this, guys, I said we always want to increase, we want to grow the trees and reduce the bleed, right? We don't want to see all of this red. Stop laughing at me, Angie. We don't want to see all of this red, and we want to see this green section grow. So at the beginning of the school year, only 7% of our students were at or above grade level across the building. That was 18 students out of about 566 students, right? But down here on this end, we had 84 students, or 16% of students, that were 3 or more grade levels below, and that's usually on our upper grades. And then we had 125 that were 2 grade levels below. And, oh, Miss Shannon is here. And 281 who were in this yellow section, meaning they were 1 grade level below. Now, this is what I want you guys to remember. When students are assessed, they're assessed on end of the school year standards. So you come in as a brand new baby, used to be first grader, you come into second grade, that iReady assessment is assessing them on second grade standards. So if they're 1 grade level below, it's not the worst thing in the world, because guess what? They're not finished with second grade yet. They have to get to the end. So we want to make sure that they progress towards that and are moving. And then down here, you get to see the different mathematics domains, and it shows kind of where our strengths and weaknesses were. It looks like most of our students had challenges with measurement and data and geometry, just based on how many students we had in the red over here. And then down here, we have our grade level breakdown that shows how our students performed in kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade. That was the fall. Everybody say the fall. Okay, everybody didn't say it, but let's say everybody say the fall.
The phone.
Okay, so now let's look at the, thank you, Miss Dorsey. So let's look at the winter. Now remember, we're going to take this again in the spring, but this is our mid-year kind of checkpoint to see how they did. And take a look at this bar at the top, because when I switch it, you're almost going to see it move like an animation. Okay? Boom, did you see that? So what does that mean? That means our above and on grade level student percentage is growing. We're now at 18%. We really reduced this part back here. That one is the big one. And we're moving our students out of being 2 or 3 grade levels below and shifting them over into this middle section so that they can be closer to being on grade level or at grade level by the end of the year. And then again, you get to see the growth by grade level. But we have another report, which is actually my favorite report. This one is called our growth report. It's okay. So this winter growth report, this gives us a lot of detail. And I'm going to talk about this, and Miss Hale, if I mess up, let me know. So there are two targets that we want our students to have by the end of the year. There is typical growth and there is stretch growth. Okay. Typical growth means little Latanya started in 2nd grade as an old 1st grader, right? I'm an old 1st grader when I'm in 2nd grade at the beginning of the year. And by the end of the year, she's a 2nd grader. So when she goes to 3rd grade, she'll be an old 2nd grader. So typical growth is just the growth a student makes from year to year, just by virtue of the fact that they're getting tier 1 instruction in school, period. So we want them to get 100%, ideally, of their typical growth points by the end of the year, which means mid-year, we actually want them to be at 50%. Now, we did not quite get to 50% of typical growth. By January, we actually got to 31%, which was a big jump, but not quite there. But we have a lot of work to do to make up between now and the end of the year. But stretch growth, that's over here. Stretch growth is, I'm a 2nd grader, but I'm working on 1st grade work. I'm working on 1st grade level. The stretch growth is what I need to do to get me to catch up to be on grade level, right? So that this is the acceleration lever, the stretch growth. And so this shows, kindergarten, 27% of students made their stretch growth. Like, we're moving, they're moving, they're moving, they're moving. This also shows you how many students started in one placement, but they improved their placement, right? So look down here in 5th grade. You see 5th grade, do you see 5th grade? Come on, Miss Byer, okay? So we're making that progress in each of our grades, and we're looking forward to being able to give you additional updates. And then down here, this gives you the details. Mid or above grade level, on and above, we were at 8%. We're now at 18%. This yellow band stayed about the same at 54%. But for students who were 2 or 3 grade levels below, we were at about 38%, and we're now at 29%. Remember, grow the trees, reduce the bleed, all right? So that is math. I'm not going to take as long to go through reading, but I am going to show you our elementary reading data as well. Reading, our students tend to do a little bit better anyway. So Miss Holly and Miss Cheney would be very excited about that. But again, this is where we were in the fall. 23% of our students were on or above, 45% were 1 grade below, and 31% of them were 2 or more grade levels below. These are the different reading domains. These are the ones that we talk about that are foundational: phonological awareness, phonics, high frequency words. And then Dr. Bowers said that after 3rd grade, they are no longer tested on these domains. That's why you see this line here, because certain students at a certain grade level don't even get assessed on this anymore. Then there are the vocabulary domains, and then there's comprehension, because we want students to be able to comprehend, right? We want them to be able to comprehend literature and informational text. And this gives you the performance on grades K 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is the fall. Everybody say that's the fall. Thank
That's
you.
the
I saw
fall.
it. I saw it. Thank you for unmuting. Yes, I love it. And look at the winter. So now we have, what is this? 16 and 19, 35% of students are on or above, 39% are 1 or more grade levels, and 27% are 2 or more. We have even more students that we don't have to assess in this phonological awareness section, which is great. And then again, I'm going to show you the growth report. So for reading, the students actually grew a little more aggressively and got closer to that 50% mark. So we don't have as much to make up with reading, but we're still not taking our foot off the gas. Over here, we only had 23% of students that were on or above grade level. Now we went from, what is this? We went from 23 to 34% of students that are on or above grade level. Down here on the red side, we had 31% of students who were 2 or more grade levels below. And now we're at 27%, right? And this one went from 45 to 39. So we're definitely moving. They're showing you the typical growth and which grade levels. I do want to shout out 4th grade and 5th grade reading for hitting their typical growth score for the winter. Kindergarten was this this close to it, right? Because we want them to be right on track and getting the content that they should be getting. So great things happening at Lake Arbor Elementary. In spite of some challenges that we have been having, we're happy to show that our children are learning and moving. I'm looking at my time. Dr. Bowers showed this to you all earlier, but of course we didn't know that we were showing we had these things going on. So this is the iReady family report, and this is actually the report of one of our scholars. I just redacted the name, but this shows you again, as she told you, the domains, the assessment, what grade level the student was at, the Lexile level. When you go, you can put in, go to Lexile.com. That's the website for you guys. Lexile.com. You're going to get your reports at the end of this week. Okay. It lets you know what grade level the child is approaching. This child, when they started, they were at the 46th percentile across the nation, just under the 50th percentile. Now this student is in the 54th percentile, just above the 50th percentile. So this student is making growth. It gives you some suggestions, what to do in talking with the teacher, what the scale scores mean, and all of that other good, yummy information. So make sure you look for your family report when it comes out this week. And if you don't see it, let your classroom teacher know. Now, I just wanted you guys to show you this, because and this is a good thing Miss Crawford is here. These are some of the things at the beginning of the year when we talked about, hey, we're a Title I school because we're struggling in some areas academically, and because we're also an ATSI school, we're putting some extra supports in place. No problem. Thank you, Ms. Hale. We love you. We're putting some extra supports in place to support your babies to get them to where they need to be. So I just wanted to show you all of the programs that Lake Arbor is putting in place to support your students, because you may say, well, what exactly is going on at the school? We have a lot going on over here at the school. So over here, you'll see the program, what grades those programs target, what subject, and who the targeted students. We have our pre-K teacher is sponsoring Reading Rockets with pre-kindergarten and kindergarten students for reading to kind of help give them those foundational skills. Chapter 1 is a high leverage tutoring program. They just started with us. We have tutors that come into the building daily to support kindergarten through second grade students with their foundational skills. That has already started, and that's for every single solitary student. So they're already getting tier 2 instruction with one of our interventions and getting tier 2 instruction here. Amplify is another high leverage tutoring platform. This one is virtual for 3rd through 5th grade, also in reading, and that one is for students that are working 1 grade level below. We also have a after school extended learning opportunity for our students in grades 1, 2, 3, and 5 in mathematics. That's also, hold on to that, Ms. Towns. That's also for students working 1 grade level below. But we didn't forget about 4th grade. Okay, so we have mainstream movers for our 4th graders. That's also mathematics and students working 1 grade level below, so that we can help accelerate to get them on grade level. Dreambox, Miss Nelson Generette probably thinks I forgot about her. I did not. Dreambox is an intervention that's offered to every student in Prince George's County Public Schools, kindergarten through 5th grade, mathematics. We have a Saturday Academy that was supposed to start last Saturday, but the weather was bad. So it will be starting this Saturday. 3rd through 5th grade students in reading and mathematics, and that's for students with IEPs in grades 3 through 5, whether they're in the program or not in the program. And then finally, again, we not only use iReady reading and math for assessments, but we also use them for an intervention. Oh, I forgot Lexia. I knew I forgot one. iReady reading and math intervention. Reading intervention is for grades 4 and 5. And in reading, our 1st through 3rd grade students have Lexia as an intervention for reading, and all students grades all the way across have iReady math as an intervention. Ooh, that was a lot. All right, so if you want to know what we're doing, that's what we're doing. Now, let's look at this attendance data. Look at this, y'all. Look at this attendance. Look at this attendance. So of course, in September, everybody's all happy. It's the beginning of the school year, and y'all, you know, they've been in the house all summer. Everybody's coming to school in September. All of the children are leaving the house. Then around October, you start getting a little, okay, we're a little tired. November and October, we were so excited about our data in November and October. We got to the end of the 1st quarter and we were like, yes, we're going into the 2nd quarter. We remember our chronic attendance was 36% last year. And I had to clutch my pearls at 36%. And then December came, okay, it's a holiday. People get a little, you know, going shopping, take your baby, trying shoes for Christmas and all that other good stuff. Then here came January. Woo! And February, we are at 38.2% of our students are chronically absent as of today. Now, we know, and we do know, that we have had absolutely, Miss Newman, that's exactly what I was about to say. People have been getting sick left and right. And when I took my son to the urgent care, they said that the pediatric virus, whatever this is going around, is lasting longer than it has ever lasted. She said usually they get a virus and it's gone in like 3 to 4 days. She's like, yeah, these are like lasting for like 5 to 7 days, for some kids, 10 days. So they're still coughing, they're still having a hard time. So our attendance has skyrocketed up. And then with some of our delayed starts and closings and weather. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to manage for some parents if the weather is bad. And they just say, you know what, no, just stay home because you already have a 3-hour early dismissal. What's the point? So those have been difficult for us this month. I'm hoping that with our big celebrations tomorrow, we can avoid we can begin to trend back down at least towards the end of the month. It's still Black History Month. It's still Black History Month. We still have things to celebrate. And so as much as your children are not infectious, remember, no fever, 24 hours without any medication. If they have a little cough, you know, it's not the best thing. You don't feel comfortable with it. I get it, but they can't come to school with a cough. Just can't come to school with a fever. Please don't send them to school with a fever or diarrhea. It's not good. That is ungood. Or vomiting. Keep them home. Okay. All right. All right. So now we're back to our why. It's time for you to reflect, families. Now that you've seen how we've grown in some areas and still finding opportunities in others, this is what I want you to think about. Think about, based on everything you've heard, what I've told you, what Dr. Bowers has told you, what was valuable for you? I see some questions are coming up in the chat. And what can you own? Like, we're owning some stuff. We own our stuff. What shift can you make, and what are your next steps as a mom or dad? You don't have to, you know, you don't have to confess like Usher, but just think about it and reflect. What are some things that you think you can do? If you want to talk about a little later, you can, but you don't have to, you don't have to right now. Why? Because I'm 5 minutes over time. But at the same time, guess what? It's time for the giveaways. 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 So we have 3 sponsors. Mr. Jones, I have to connect you with our sponsors. We have 3 sponsors for our giveaways. Infinite Wellness is a family therapy and child therapy group. They are amazing. They are giving away a self-care basket. Ooh, everybody say, ooh, ah. A Savvy Soiree is a decorative. I love that. A Savvy Soiree is a decorative company. They do holiday decor. They do Christmas trees. They do any kind of parties, balloon arches, and things of that nature. They are giving away a custom wreath. Everybody say, ooh, ah. And then our last sponsor is Deluxe Spreads. They do custom charcuterie boards, and they are giving away a charcuterie board or charcuterie board making class. Everybody say, ooh, ah. That wasn't everybody, but that's okay because it's been a long night. So I'm going to, thank you. So I'm going to stop my share because guess what? It's time to spin for the wheel of names. And I don't want anybody to think that I was not rightfully sharing with you the random name picker. So the first thing we're going to give away, we're going to start from the right to the left. And let's see, I stop my share. And then I'm going to reshare, and then we're going to start looking at some of these breakout groups. Look, because I have the names here from the registrations. Look at God, won't he do it? So I'm going to spin, and we're going to start with the custom charcuterie board as the first giveaway. Are we ready? Are we ready? Let's go. You got to be here to win. All right, Miss Fogel, are you in the house? Speak now, forever hold your peace, Miss Fogel. Uh-oh, what's in the chat?
Parents said her name is not on the list.
Oh, Miss Mallory, let's get you on the list. I think I took this, if you registered a little bit later, it didn't take. So I'm going to remove Miss Fogel because she's not here. And I'm going, if anybody else doesn't see your name on the list, speak now, forever hold your peace.
Employees disqualified.
Yes, employees are disqualified, ma'am.
Let's see. I don't see mine. It's Monica, Luke.
Miss Luke, I think you're up here.
Am I up there?
'Cause you
Oh
registered.
no, there I am. I see
There
it.
you are. Yep.
Tracy Hardy, I don't see mine on the list.
Let's see, Miss Hardy. I think you need to add you. All right. Everybody's like, no, you don't get my name in here. Miss Hardy, spell your last name for you.
Hardy.
H. Mm-mm.
It looks like Miss Towns has popped in and said her name is not on the list as well.
Okay. And
Or Stephanie Ashford is another one.
Towns. Just
Mhm.
Towns. And Miss Ash. This is to make it quick. All right. Is that it? Here we go. Gotta be here to win. Joyce Edwards. Is Joyce Edwards here? Oh, Miss Edwards.
Yep.
Coming out. Spin again. I'm gonna keep spinning until we get a winner, y'all.
Right.
Uh-oh, Miss Omatosho, are you here? Spin again. Guess what? Every time we remove a name, that increases your chances of winning. Miss Mallory! Congratulations, Miss Alexis Mallory. You advocated for yourself and you won. Congratulations. Please, I will send you some information with the sponsor's name, and she will get in touch with you to determine what you would, which item you would like. Okay. Awesome. And we have 2 more giveaways. So we're going to go into this breakout session. Let me stop my share again. We're going to go into a breakout session. Now, Latanya. Nope. There we go. Okay. We're going to go into the breakout session. As you see in the agenda, this is our first one. The time is now 6:56. We'll probably start, get enough time to get people in at 7 and go from about 7 to 7:30. Then we're going to come back to this main session, have a Q&A. We'll do the next set of giveaways and the evaluation. But before we do, let me stop my share. Before we do, we have another celebrity in the house. You thought I didn't. You thought, where is she? Where did she go? Hold on. Miss Shannon, are you here? There you are. Miss Shannon, can you please introduce yourself? Or can you?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can we see you or
Yes.
are you under? It's okay. Don't
Okay.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Miss Shannon.
Okay. And
Tell
hopefully
them
my
who you
dog
are, Miss
doesn't start.
Shannon.
Hopefully my dog doesn't start barking.
Okay.
I'll try to be quick. But good evening, everyone. My name is April Shannon, and I'm a specialist in the Department of Family and Community Partnerships, which is over at the John Carroll Building. Um, my department is responsible for several things. We're led by Dr. Sheila Jackson. We have 3 specialists in the office that have different focus areas. Mine is parent leadership. Um, we have someone who focuses on alumni engagement and a program that we have called Parent Cafe. And we also have someone focusing on diversity, and he also has a program called Dadversity, where he engages fathers. So we also coach and train parent engagement assistants. I know there's no PEA at Lake Arbor
Right now.
currently. Yeah, currently.
Mhm.
But there are about 100 across the district at various schools. So they are there to engage families directly and to build the capacity of families and staff to better engage with each other. So again, like I said, my role is parent leadership. So you may have, if you're here and you are on the PTO or PTA or parent club, council or whatever, different avenues you have to engage families, then you may have gotten emails from me or been invited to various activities that we have to support parent leadership and to build the capacity of parent leaders to better lead in their parent communities. My email is april.shannon. If you guys have, and that's at pgcps, of course, .org. If you guys have any questions as it surrounds parent leadership or any other thing, we help support whatever families need. If you've never been on a Family Institute session, you can find that they're generally on the county website on the calendar. You can find it. Thank you, Ms. Holly. You can find it on the calendar. Um, it's every other week. So the next one, we just had one on the 11th on Tuesday, so we'll have one on the 25th. And so Family Institute is a evening session where various uh, partners present workshops. So we just had one on mental health on Tuesday night. I think I want to say that the 25th is Transportation 101. So if you're having concerns with,
Mm.
I'm not even gonna say if, just
I need to come to that one, Miss Shannon.
yes, just bring your woes, your transportation woes. You can get the updated information, and you'll also be able to hear directly from the Department of Transportation for PGCPS, and ask your questions and get some answers for a lot of those things that are going on and plaguing our kids getting to school on time. So yeah, that's what we do. And then it's the dates are also March 11th and March 25th for the other Family Institute sessions, and they go all the way up to May 6th, and they're going to be virtual. I mean, all of them are virtual, so you don't have to come out of your house in order to log on. There at 6 p.m., 6 to 7:30, and again, you can find the link. If you, I will make sure you're getting. I think you probably get my emails, Principal Southern,
I
for
do,
Family
but
Institute.
I wanted to tell you, Miss, you just got a message inside the chat. We have a
Mhm.
brand new, freshly minted PTA president, Miss Monica Luke. She just sent me a
Amazing!
message.
Congratulations.
She has taken on the helm for approximately 7 days, I think.
Ooh.
So that information will begin when I'm gonna refill out my Google Docs so you can have her
Oh,
information.
good. Okay.
Still LAESPTA, whatever the Lake Arbor
Mm-hmm.
PTA
Miss-
Do
email.
you need me to send you the link again?
Yes,
Or-
ma'am.
It's
Okay.
Miss Shannon, I actually
Yes.
just checked the Lake Arbor email. I got your Family Institute link.
Look at
I
that.
didn't exactly know
Oh,
what it was.
amazing.
I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know you guys existed. So I'm glad that you're on this call, but I'll respond to you and so we can connect.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
All
All
right,
right,
thank
perfect.
you.
So yeah, so that's how it works. That's what we do. So
Yay.
you guys, yeah, feel free to join. Now the there's a quarterly conversation that's for parent leaders that happens, of course, once a quarter where district leaders and parent leaders connect. I think the next one is virtual. The last one was February 3rd. So you'll get those emails from me as well, Miss Lucas. But Family Institute is for everybody. So any parents, staff, school leaders, grandmas, grandpas, everybody can get on Family Institute to learn about the various things that are happening in the district.
Thank you, Ms. Shannon. And families, if you subscribe to the PGCPS calendar, the Family Institute dates will automatically populate on your calendar.
Yep.
So, thank you, Ms. Shannon, for coming. I appreciate you, and thank you for coming to.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And listen, Principal Southern, I am going to make sure my granddaughter is only one, but I'm gonna make sure she comes to your school because you have the good giveaways for the parents. Y'all have
Oh,
a good
God.
evening.
Thank you, dear. I
All right, bye-bye.
appreciate you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
So we're going to go ahead and open up our breakout rooms. Remember, you can select the room whatever room is appropriate for you. If you have a child in pre-K through second grade, you're going to go to that room. If your child is in third through fifth, and our hosts are going to talk to you about the assessments that are appropriate for for those grade levels. I'll hang out here that's my dog. I'll hang out here to support you all in getting into the rooms. But if you would, please go ahead and start selecting the rooms now. The rooms are open. I see some parents are already joining. Thank you.